Hey EveryStem members, LuAnn here. I am going to show you how you can create templates with your hard goods so that you can make creating the designs for reception tables for your clients really quickly and easily. So let's go ahead and start by adding a new event. I'm going to go ahead and call this Round Tables Template. You can call it whatever works for you. We're going to go ahead. I like to say what I'm putting in here, so I'm just going to put pillars, tapers, votives, bud vases, whatever compote, whatever I'm putting in so that if I'm searching for something, I can find it. Go ahead and put a date in there. It doesn't matter what date since we can use the search box to find it. So if we want to search for it, we can search the word round. It's going to pull up that template for us, and now we can open it up. So we're going to focus on just creating templates for some reception tables here. So I'm going to go on the reception tab. We're going to go ahead and start with our first table here. I'm going to click on this to change the name. I'm going to go ahead and call this pillars and votives. So this is going to be a table where I'm going to have some pillar candles, some greenery, and votives. And then I'm going to do the next one is going to be, let's say, tapers, bud vases, and votives. So whatever combination of things you like to put in, we'll go ahead and do a third one that's going to be a low compote with just the votives. If you do one, let's say you could even do one that's a compote with tapers and votives. Whatever combinations you like to sell to your clients, whatever's the most common, you can put in here and preload into a template. So that you have it ready to go. So now we've got our different types of centerpiece hard goods here. We're going to go ahead and add the items for this. So we're going to go ahead and look up the letters HG. All my hard goods start with the letters HG so I can find them really quickly and easily. If you want to set up your flower library that way, be my guest. It's really helpful. A lot of my berries start with the word berry. My greenery starts with the word greens, so I can find those things very easily when I search for them. So I'm going to go ahead and add my pillar candles. I've got 3 different heights from Yummy that I've been doing. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my taper candles. I'm going to add my votives. And then I'm going to go ahead and I think I also have a compote in here. I'm going to add that. And that'll all be in there when it's time for me to add those. I think I also have some bud vases in here. And so this one I did not add the HG at the front of, so I'm going to go ahead and go back and do that later on, but let's go ahead and add it right now. So we're going to go ahead and go into my bud vase. I'm going to just add the letters HG at the front so it matches what I change it in the library. And then I can start. So this one is pillars and votives. I'm going to start by putting in my pillar candles. I usually do a trio of 3 different heights. And then for my votives, I tend to put 5 votives on a table. I think that's nice, especially on those larger rounds with 10 people sitting at it. So the next one is going to be tapers and bud vases and votives. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my collection of 3 tapers. I'm going to put in my 5 votives, and then I'm going to put in my 3 bud vases. So now that I've started to lay out what's in the hard goods of each of these types of designs, when I come back and make a copy of this the next time I want to create a design for a client or an event with a client for multiple different kinds of round tables, I don't have to type in all this information. I can just simply adjust it and remove the ones that my client doesn't want. So with the compote, we're going to go ahead and add that compote vase, and we're going to put in our 5 votive candles. And then with the compote, taper, and votives, we're going to go ahead and put in the compote. We're going to put in the votive candles, and then I'm going to go ahead and put in my 3 tapers. So however you enter these is totally up to you, but it's really nice to have these preloaded. So I've got 4 different types of round tables that I typically use my hard goods in, and I've got this set up as a template now. It was that easy. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back to my dashboard. I'll save this one more time, hit the dashboard. And now what I want to do is make a version that has round tables and rectangular tables. So I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of the one that already has all the round tables in it. I'm going to add the rectangular table designs to that one so I have one with both options. I'm going to make a copy of it. I'm going to say round and rectangular. And then I'm going to go ahead and just hit submit. Now I've got my round and rectangular tables, so I can go back to my reception page and I can add all my rectangular options here. I can create a separate page if I want to, so it's not too long of a run-on, but keep in mind that when you do actually end up using this for a client, you're probably only going to have 3 or 4 different types, so you can remove the ones that you're not using by clicking on the header and clicking remove. It'll remove that entire column. So let's go ahead and add a few more here, and we can just do our rectangular tables. So for rectangular tables, I do bud vases often with tapers and votives. I also do a mix of low arrangements with pillars, like bud vases with pillars and votives. So let's go ahead and do that as well. You know, on a longer rectangular table, maybe I would do 7 buds. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my votive candles. Let's say I might do 7 of those for a long table. And then for the taper candles, maybe I'll do a collection of 6 of those. Whatever number you typically do for your client is what you want to enter here. And then when you make a copy of it, if it's slightly different for each client, you can easily adjust this, but you don't have to start from scratch adding all this information. The next one is bud vases, pillars, and votives. So we're going to go ahead and add our pillar candles. I'm going to say maybe 2 of each kind, so we have 6. And then for our votives and our pillars and our bud vases. So we're going to find our votives. Let's say we're going to do 5. And then let's say for the bud vases, we're going to do 7. Whatever number works for you. And then the last one is the compotes, tapers, and votives. And I'm going to go ahead and let's say on this one, we're going to do 2 compotes. And we're going to do maybe a dozen votives. And then we're only going to do maybe 5 taper candles. So now that this is set up with both my round tables and my rectangular tables, I have a really nice layout that I can use anytime a client comes in and asks me for a mix of table styles. Then I can go ahead and save that one and create one just for the rectangular tables. So if I have a client who says I only want rectangular tables, I can go ahead and make a copy of the one that has both, remove the round ones, click submit, and now I can do a rectangular table one. So how are we going to do that? We'll just remove the ones that had to do with the round tables. And once we get to our ones that have our rectangular options, we'll go ahead and stop. We'll double check that with a save. And now when we go back to our dashboard, if we look for templates, all of our 3 different options. I can even add flowers into these. So let's say for our round tables, for the ones where I'm going to go ahead and do my pillars and votives, that's typically one where I like to add greenery around the base. I can go ahead and actually add that greenery. So if I search for the word greens and I find all my greenery, I might want to go ahead and add in my Italian ruscus. And I might want to go ahead and add in the nagi that I typically use and the olive. Now I have those 3 options, and whatever greenery I decide I want to use or a mix of all 3, I can even go ahead and scroll down and I can add 0.25 of each variety, and that way I've got that preloaded. Now I already know that I need to charge no less than $82 for a table like this with just the basic hard goods and greenery. I hope this is helpful for you. If you have any questions, shoot me an email.